Master KG, where are you when we need the answers?
So not only did she lose the case, she was made to do 2 more albums for open mic. You know, she signed a contract for the Jerusalema, but she was also signed to the record label. Then the record label was forced to say, look here, you're saying you never got paid a cent. So we're gonna tell open mic to give us all the records that they have, the financial records. And then open mic did exactly that. And after a thorough look, they were like, no man, you are actually the one who's owing.
Hey, man.
When you pay them, like you said, upfront, and then now the song makes more money because the business has done the marketing, has done everything for this song for them to get back their money and also them to make money. So now the artist feels like, no, but it's made more money, so you guys are stealing from me.
A lot of people in Hollywood or in the same industry in the United States have a conglomerate. They have a group that they're all associated with. The minute you take yourself out of that group, you immediately consider it as
one
a
of
black
those.
sheep. Everyone that has criticized Kanye West thus far, John Legend, Jay-Z, Beyonce, and the likes, those are all part of the same conglomerate. Those are all part of the same group, but we don't know what the crux of the matter is. Why is Kanye West behaving the way he does? Because we're not in that camp to say, Kanye, you've lost your mind. You don't deserve to be on the public eye. That's my biggest fear. Is that we'll sit down many years later and we'll say, yeah.
A lot of people say that.
Yeah, was actually right. I read, I think it was 2 days ago. They said they're suing him for his whole stable.
Yeah.
It's worth that much.
Your whole network.
Why are you insulting Tatu? Why are you insulting my rap, bro? Come on, man.
But this ain't Momo's first fumble, actually. Hey?
Where is it?
Yes. So he pulled up a similar stunt in Zambia earlier this on, blaming a schedule conflict.
For such stories, I'm thinking, Kelvin, why would you sacrifice an international tour for? What are you sacrificing it for? You have Makube Njalo and you have Perth, Australia. Where's Kelvin Momo going? Makube Njalo. Why are your minds like this? Why can't you guys be professional about your gigs, professional about your contracts, professional about the people you work with? Why is it every single time there's an issue in the music industry, it's always a piano artist? The biggest downfall on that genre are the people that created it, the artists, the creators themselves. They can't abide to the professionalism that comes or that's required with being in the industry.
Like there's no other. It's like the players were happy, but the happiness in the coach. The coaches.
I think the players were happy to win the match. The coaches were happy to win the trophy.
Yeah. Because but it seemed like I was telling Mongi earlier on. It's like the whole country's won.
Yeah.
For some unknown reason. Like I know the guys haven't. Okay, I know Mongi is like.
See, Ronnie, 1994 elections.
Yeah, it's like that. You know, it's like the Springboks have won the World Cup. You know.
Of course, Akazi Chiefs being being a widely supported team in the country, you can almost attest, and I can almost attest to what you're saying now, why the whole country's at a bit of a relief, because half the country was thinking, why is only the black part of the country winning? Why can't the yellow part win? So of course, a yellow and gold part came out victorious this past weekend in Nedbank Cup. Like you said, Ronnie, it was a unifying moment for all football lovers, but most importantly for all Akazi Chiefs fans who at some point were separate, were withdrawing from supporting the club. But more importantly, we're withdrawing from support of the technical staff and the coach, Nasruddin Nabi. Now they're calling him Baba Nabi.
Yeah, Baba Nabi.
Yeah,
I heard that
our father.
It's crazy, man. Yeah, it's crazy, man. Yeah, just in case you missed it, I had a little bit of effect. No, that was the Bogart man once said, some discipline is choosing between what you want now and what you want the most. So that was a little bit of words there for Did You Know That? But time for a little Did You Know That? To school you just on some fun facts. Bet you did not know this one here, that a t-shirt used to be a straight up underwear. Yep. So back in the early 20th century, t-shirts were hidden underneath the clothes and never meant to be seen. So obviously the World War soldiers started rocking them on as an outfit, like an outwear, and now they are the most casual drip in the world. Imagine that.
I'm never gonna look at the t-shirt the same way again.
No, but people back then were weird. Like, it's just like, how can you have so much layers of clothes on you? Doesn't make sense. Doesn't make sense. Like, literally.
They've now just traumatized my thoughts about t-shirt.
What, you're gonna feel naked walking around?
Why are you wearing underwear at the top of on your torso?
But there's another one, guys. Ever wonder why men and women's shirt have buttons on the opposite sides? Ever wondered that?
I've paid attention to it. The real reason, I've never found a fashion reason for it, but it's something that I'm really attentive of. So I know if the button's on the left side, it's a woman's garment. If it's on the right side, it's a man's garment. Similarly, if you walk into public toilets, when you walk into public toilets, the men's toilet is always on the right, and the women's toilet is always on the left, regardless of
I never actually.
Next time you go to the toilet, just look out for it.
What?
Men are always on the right, women's toilets are always on the left.
Nah.
Always, without fail. But
Really?
next time you go to the toilet, you look out for it. But you give me that buttons.
But you're right. No, but okay, cool. Now, but the buttons. Let's continue with the buttons.
Take our own office, for instance.
I was gonna go there.
The women's bathroom used to be on the left.
Yeah, it used to be on the left. You're right.
And when you turn left, on the right is. Yeah.
But obviously, because of other circumstances, we had to change.
Things,
But it's fine. But it started off like that. Yeah. But yeah, man. So the buttons situation. Blame the servants. Back in the day, wealthy women had maids dressing them up, of course, and it was easier for right-hand maids to button t-shirts with the left facing the buttons. So you can imagine, that's just mind-blowing. Why some things are the way they are. But why the toilets on the left and right?
I don't have an exact reason for that. No, I'll be lying if I told you. But it's just something I've noticed.
All right, cool. The time is exactly 10 o'clock in South Africa. Just in case wherever you're listening from, man. This is the Bogut Morning Show. The name's Ronnie J. Driz, extraordinary DJ, man. It's time to hop into some trending news, man. To hear what's trending outside here. And the first on our list, we got John Legend and Kanye West. He's on Kanye West now. So let's jump into that real quickly, eh? So John Legend just got real about his former friend Kanye West, on the Times podcast, calling Kanye West decency into controversy sad and shocking. So Legend, who used to tour the world around with Ye, says that he never saw this coming. He's not very enthusiastic about it, but not the anti-blackness, not the wild press for like Hitler that he has,
he's anti-Semitic, he's anti-black,
there's just a lot of anti-things,
yes.
So Legend pinpointed a shift after Kanye West's mom passed away in 2007, and now with Ye's recent headline, "There's once tight bond is just a memory now." This matters because these two were brothers in the music game, and seeing Kanye West spiral like this, it got folks shocked.
Guys, you know what the funny thing is for me? The way I translate this, I'll use a football analogy for this. In football, when there's certain things happening, a player has gone AWOL or has lost the way in the football camp. From the outside as supporters, we always sit down and you think, this person, you don't deserve to be there. You don't deserve to earn the amount of money that you have because you can't respect the club's ethos. But then I'm speaking from the outside looking in. What is going on the inside? What is the player doing that the coach is not really recepting? So it brings me now to this question with Kanye West. From the outside looking in, remember a lot of people in Hollywood or in the same industry in the United States have a conglomerate. They have a group that they're all associated with. The minute you take yourself out of that group, you immediately consider
one of those.
So now if you can consider everyone we consider everyone that has criticized Kanye West thus far, John Legend, Jay-Z, Beyonce and the likes, those are all part of the same conglomerate. Those are all part of the same group. Now Kanye West has taken himself out of that group. Immediately once you're out of that group, you become the black sheep. Now there's a point of judgment. We can say, you're not behaving the same way you used to do when your mom was here because we used to be at your mom's house. You know what Kanye West was like at his mom's, but you don't know what Kanye West is going through. You don't know what situations Kanye West led to Kanye West being like this. We might say, he's going through a mental breakdown, there's depression, there's drugs involved, and all these things, but we don't know what the crux of the matter is. Why is Kanye West behaving the way he does? Because we're not in that camp to say, Kanye, you've lost your mind, you don't deserve to be on the public eye. Maybe he's using the public platform to show you that, hey, listen, actually what you guys are following is not what you should be following. What I'm saying is the truth, but because I'm considered as a madman, my truth will not be considered until I go past, and then somebody will say, Kanye West is actually right.
Many years later.
That's my biggest fear, is that we'll sit down many years later and we'll say,
a lot of people say that
Ye was actually right.
A lot of he's been right about a lot of things, so lately.
George Bush doesn't care about black people.
That's the story for another day. But
I'll tell you who cares about it. I mean, let's not dive into that one. Let's not dive into
yeah, man. So yeah, man. So you got a point, man. You say that because I personally don't think Kanye West has lost his mind or doing all these things, because I feel like I can relate to Kanye West in a way, because like I feel most of the things he does, like he's just expressing himself, and he feels like he's in this cage that the cage is that people not understanding him. Those are that's the cage, and he's trying so hard to break out of this cage to make you guys understand. Like, no, if you view things this way, my way, you can see things differently, see how I see, and you won't look at me this way. I think that's where his frustration.
And it's possibly his most expensive asset, his mind. There's no way he can lose that.
Yeah.
It's one of his greatest revenue generators. His mind, the way he thinks, as a businessman, as an entrepreneur, as an entertainer. There's no way Kanye West can lose his mind. If he loses his mind, he loses all his billions. So how can we sit here on the wall and say Kanye has lost his mind?
He's still rich.
That's what I'm saying.
Someone who's lost their mind would have lost it.
would have lost their money.
People would have taken advantage, or they would have lost it themselves.
He hasn't lost it. That's the thing. Like, that's what I'm saying. Like, people are just like, it's either that, what you just said before, or people not, him being the black sheep, or people just not him being frustrated of, everybody else. Because I feel like that's his major fight. Yeah. People understanding him.
So John Legend referred to his journey, like Kanye West's journey, as a devolution. Like you evolving backwards.
Devolution, eh?
Devolution.
That's a strong
I just think they're not understanding him, bro. I personally.
Nah, man, Kanye West is the future.
And anyway, who's John Legend? He comes back here after 5 years with Botox on his face, and he wants to be telling, he's looking like his wife. Now he wants to be telling us about Kanye West. Leave Kanye West alone, please, bro.
Hey man.
Firoza, no jokes. No offense. Put what's her name? Chrissy Teigen. Put her face and put John Legend's face. He went over for 1 year or 6 month hiatus. When he came back, homeboy looked like he had Botox. I'm like, Chief, you're not a legend anymore.
Is it the at least the good type, like where Christina Aguilera popped up and was like, wow? Or is it bad?
No, his cheeks were shiny. His forehead, it was just. But I mean,
yeah, you're right. John Legend does look kind of different. It doesn't look.
Jamie Foxx said they cloned the John. They cloned him. It's not the real John Legend. There's a movie Jamie Foxx did. They cloned. I think they cloned.
Yeah. And they also say they cloned Jamie Foxx. So now we don't know.
It's not the real one.
Was it after or before? Did he say that after or before they cloned him?
No,
they cloned Johnny Foxx. It was after.
When he came back, it's like, I was not the only
one. So that means Jamie
cloned.
Foxx they didn't clone him. That movie was called Clone something.
Somebody, I think
they cloned Tyrone. They cloned Tyrone. Yeah, that movie is hectic though.
Madness.
That movie is madness.
If I could clone myself, I'd just like get into a marriage with myself and live happily ever after.
Sounds like a peaceful ending.
Right? No one knows me better than me.
Sure.
So we'll cater to each other. We'll be happy.
But guys, there seems to be a lot of trending news going on. Of course, in the States, which would dominate. I think also down in home. So Nomcebo also captured the headlines. But before I read this, I want to bring it to attention. If you guys saw yesterday, a couple of Afrikaners arrived in the States. 43,
really?
if I'm not mistaken.
Yeah, 43.
So the refugees.
40,
I wonder.
49. Yeah.
Crazy.
I wonder if those were farmers. I'm just wondering.
If you see them, looks like another guy that was in the corner of the road up there by my house. It was looking very orange.
Guys.
So I'm not sure, guys. Donald Trump, if he went here picking, if it was
Donald Trump should put some respect on the white farmers in South Africa, okay? He should put some respect on their
in fact,
name.
Some of those guys that arrived don't even look like farmers, man.
That's what I'm saying. Like, are they farmers? First of all, because he's like, no, it's not about a racial issue, and it's not about whether they're black or white, or whether they're fat or skinny. He just wants to help people. I'm like, help?
He's the
you
biggest
help?
discriminator. What do you mean?
You just took away the health care support that you just had for us. Yeah. How are you helping? Now you're choosing to no. I was like, come on, man.
You're helping the wrong way.
Come on, man.
They even deny their own women health care.
Yeah, so how are you helping people? Like, how are you helping these people? Hey,
Yeah, no. continuing with that, let me give you some insights as far as trending news for as far as local news is concerned. When Nomcebo Zikodi, the voice behind the global hit Jerusalema, it's not backing down. Of course, you know, during the course of, I think, earlier on this month, Master KG was brought into the limelight. Of course, despite a Pretoria High Court dismissing her application for compensation in ongoing disputes with Open Mic Production, the singer is also vowing to continue her fight for royalties that she claims has been denied since 2021, and that's a long time. For this song has really generated a lot of numbers, and for
wasn't it the song of the year?
It was a song that made Master KG ambassador of music in Africa.
But Jerusalem,
Imagine.
yeah,
no, Jerusalem was it won Grammys. It went over. It's like
she's a Grammy Award winner for
Sure.
that song, and she says she hasn't received a cent.
Well, just give you guys some context. Of course, non-label has been in the league has been in legal battle with our Open Mic Production and Africori for years, claiming that she has not received any recording royalties for a contribution to Jerusalema. The court's decision on Friday ordered the applicants to jointly pay the cost, but of course, non-label, her legal teams are not giving up. She and her managing company, Emazwaleni Production, has also released a statement calling the judgment flawed and troubling. Hey, Master KG, where are you when we need the answers?
No, he's quiet. He's quiet, man. But you know what? Not only did she lose the case, she was made to do 2 more albums for Open Mic
You would be so mad.
by the judge. So she owed 2 more albums as well.
Yeah.
To them. You know,
That
besides
judge
the whole
is
story. Because you know why?
why?
Because, like, you know, she signed a contract for the Jerusalem, but she was also signed to the record label. Then the record label was forced to say, look here, you're saying you never got paid a cent. So we're going to tell Open Mic to give us all the records that they have, the financial records, and how they spend the money they put in, and the money they got back, and everything else. And then Open Mic did exactly that. And after a thorough look, they were like, no, man, you are actually the one who's owing.
Hey, man.
Yeah, but you know, that
that's exactly what
brings the question, because you know, normally when we have artists that come into studio, we always discuss with them the business of the industry, whether they understand the business of the industry. And I think in this situation, of course, which shines the eye on which shines the light on how record labels tend to dominate tend to dominate artists. But I think in this situation it's a little bit more different, whereas you'd walk into a record label, the record label will give you a stipulation, say, in this record label we need 5 albums from you. From those 5 albums, which will be a year, 10 years, be it May. And you just think to yourself, 5 albums not that bad, I can give them 10 albums, I can give them 5 albums. But in those 5 albums, there are singles in those 5 albums that will generate a huge amount of income. But you don't necessarily have a share in those singles.
Yeah,
your contract says 5 albums. The contract says 5 albums. You get paid for 5 albums.
Not depending on how good the songs do.
Yeah, if I make Jerusalema, Jerusalema is my song. Now it came from your album. We're paying you for the work that you've done on the album. But you can't now come to me and say, Master KG, you owe me for Jerusalema because it's a bigger song in the album.
It's a bigger song now, and because it has made more money. Because that's always the situation. You know, I don't know the nitty-gritties with the other, like Mobile Noise or Ambitious or other record labels around the world. Is that the record label doesn't really come out and fight and say, look here, they're always in the bad, because they'll be like, no, you've stolen from the artist. And nobody goes into the nitty-gritties, but because Open Mic actually came out and said, look, this is how it is. Because most artists, when you pay them, like you said, upfront, and then now the song makes more money because the business has done the marketing, has done everything for this song for them to get back their money, and also them to make money. So now the artist feels like, no, but it's made more money, so you guys are stealing from me.
You owe me more money.
Yeah, it's not fair. That contract was not fair.
This reminds me of
but we paid you money. Like, we paid you money.
This reminds me of a SARS situation where you do your tax return thinking SARS owes you, but you owe them.
Hey, SARS, don't do it. Don't do it. Whoever's planning on doing that, don't do it. That is one big bad monster that you just can't fight.
I think more importantly, this calls for a huge amount of attention for artists and creatives to understand what comes in, what requirements come in with signing various entertainment contracts. Because like we know it's a dark world, and if you want some light to be shined on your career, take some respect in yourself. Understand what those contractual issues are about. Understand what what those contractual obligations are about. So you know what you're getting yourself into. Now you don't want to come in, criticizing people like Master KG. Because when I saw this first, I was thinking, Master KG, what have you done? Are you a legend now?
That's where you rush to say, look here,
Master KG is at fault.
KG is at fault because he's the guy with the business, all the money. By the way, those two albums is supposed to be released. The first one in 2026, and then the second one in 2027. So she has to work extra
and then
hard.
she still has to perform them.
Yeah, of course, for the marketing and everything.
The huge amount of excitement and pretending.
And Master KG, in one of the things he actually read, before he explained. I think I've got the script here when he was talking about, like, before she was a millionaire, I helped her. I helped her to be a millionaire, and this is what happens, and it's. I
see Kelvin Momo also in the headlines.
Yeah, he is.
I can't find it. But we're going to talk about Kelvin Momo when we come back. Let's just take a little bit of a break. It's the Bogan Morning Show. The name's Ronnie J. Drill's Extraordinary DJ. So this is the song at hand, the hit song, of which it really is a hit song, guys. I would also fight.
Do you think it would have been as big if she wasn't the one? Like, if it was a different vocalist?
Yeah, for sure.
Sure, definitely. I mean, it's the message, the whole situation around it,
This song was popularized by a dance before we even recognized the vocals.
Oh, okay.
And then only after.
Before we even recognized.
In fact, when we recognized the vocals, it was too late for her because Burna Boy was already on the remix.
Hectic.
So she must not claim...
They'll be fast. They'll be fast out here. You know what I mean? Okay, another trending news last on our list. Kelvin Momo faces a lawsuit. Also, that drama happening here. We keep it moving. Trending news. And this one got the Amapiano Award buzzing. Kelvin Momo, the real name Tato Letwaba, is in hot water after a no-show 2 big gigs in Australia.
Suing him for 2.8 million rand.
You know what killed me about this statement? I read, I think it was 2 days ago. They said they're suing him for his whole stable.
Yeah.
It's worth that much.
Your whole net worth.
So why are you insulting Tatu? Like, why are you insulting my rep, bro? Come on, bro.
No, bro, I'm just saying. It's equivalent to that. I don't know whether it's not.
Wait, is his net worth the same amount?
Yeah, that's what they said.
Two performances. Your whole network.
I didn't say.
They must respect this guy. Kelvin Momo at some point, this guy would have been president of Mzansi. They must respect him, bro.
It's Kelvin Momo. So Ace Events is slapping him with a 2.8 million lawsuit for the damages and refunds after he skipped a show in Melbourne and Perth. Am I pronouncing that right?
Perth, with a 50% upfront deposit paid. They paid him for both gigs.
So that means they paid him 1.4.
Yes. So even though he dropped, even though he dropped a 50% deposit like upfront, the guys, I think that's what mostly upset with them. But this ain't Momo's first fumble, actually. Hey,
where is it?
Yes. So he pulled up a similar stunt in Zambia earlier this on, blaming a schedule conflict. Fans are hated, and the streets are asking: is Kelvin Momo overbooked, or is it the lack of accountability? That's where we are.
Funny thing, I have a close relationship with his manager, so maybe just we can perhaps try to get his manager on a call sometime during the week to find out what the actual issue is.
Please, let's find out
with this Kelvin Momo situation, because I mean he is a legend. We can consider him a legend in Mzansi music as far as Amapiano is concerned. Now, for him to be in the headlines for such stories, I'm thinking, Kelvin, why would you sacrifice an international tour for? What are you sacrificing it for? What is the issue? Are you overbooked? What's the problem?
If you pay me 1.4, I'm there.
Imagine. Imagine you look at his booking list and you say, okay, Chaf, you have Chaf Posi, or Chaf Posi is too old now. You have Makube Njalo and you have Perth, Australia. Where is Kelvin Momo going? Makube Njalo. I'm hoping that's not the case.
Okay, cool. I'm hoping that's not the case. Okay,
I'm hoping it's not Zone 6 and an Australia gig being booked on the same day and he went to Zone 6.
Yeah, man. So we're asking ourselves, like, with the Amapiano blowing up globally, this lawsuit is a reminder that professionalism got to match the hype, ladies and gentlemen.
There was a conversation that was had on one of our other podcasts, Prepcast, and they were talking about it. They're like, you need to, what did they say? They said talent is nothing without character.
Sure.
Yeah.
Exactly, yeah. Talent is nothing without character, because, these guys, not only they're doing it here at home, because we can just blame maybe just globally, but here they do the same thing.
And we've experienced it. In fact, for interviews in studio,
right here,
in
studio, and that's a bother, man.
And then we don't take you seriously going forward, and you're gonna come back and say, "Hey, can I have an interview?" And Boga is like, "But you're not professional."
Do you think perhaps I don't know? Maybe it's probably the wrong call, but an Amapiano Afri class, master class needs to happen, where we actually sit down with these Amapiano artists and we understand, guys, why are your minds like this? Why can't you guys be professional about your gigs, professional about your contracts, professional about the people you work with? Why is it every single time there's an issue in the music industry, it's always a piano artist?
Like, yes, it's a fun job, it looks fun from the outside, but there's actually work we don't want to do that we have to do in order for things to be sustainable.
It's a bother. It's really bothering.
It irritates me.
If they want to beat, I feel like Amapiano is there and is globally and is known globally, but if they had the same professionalism with the Afro beats, because Afro beats just went off and you can't take it out. But right now with the hype, Amapiano can go out if there's another genre, because there's such things that are happening. But Afrobeat, you can't take it out right now. Even if they have no hits, they have no what, they're just solid.
And with Amapiano, the longevity, or rather the lack of longevity, is so evident within the artist. You can see the artists don't last more than 6 months.
Yeah, they rotate hits.
So that in itself should give you an indication about the genre itself, as how far the genre is going. If the artist cannot maintain or sustain themselves in the industry, just shows you how far or how not far or this industry is going to go. Like you say, for instance, the other industries that have taken over the globe as far as our continental music is concerned, they've taken over, but we never hear anyone being scrutinized for not performing, for not pitching up for an interview or for a concert. We've literally created a whole genre that the world is bowing down to. But the biggest downfall on that genre are the people that created it, the artists, the creators themselves. They can't abide to the professionalism that comes or that's required with being in the industry.
It's crazy. Very crazy, man. All right, what we got next then?
This morning I heard some other shocking news that the rise of HIV infections is increased exponentially in the country to a point where it's literally uncontrollable. More so uncontrollable because now Donald Trump has cut out the medical funding for HIV.
I was about to ask if that's the direct cause of this.
There hasn't been a huge amount of HIV and AIDS research done since the time ARVs were introduced. And now in the conversation this morning, where I was hearing the argument was the problem is now we have ARVs. That's the biggest problem. There's ARVs and there's PrEPs. So now, as opposed to somebody in yesteryears in the early 90s, where you think to yourself, this disease is so deadly, so it's so harmful, I don't want to be involved in this. Now things have changed in the millenniums, where people are thinking, actually, I don't have to die. I can do what I need to do, and there's still PrEP for me. There's still ARVs, so I can still survive. And remember, back in yesteryears, you can identify somebody with the disease just by looking at them. Now you can't.
You can't tell.
You can't. Now you can't tell. So I also agree with you, because they feel like it's something which is not.
Yeah, they feel as if it's not a threat. So it's not a threat anymore. It's not a stigma anymore. You don't need to be criticized for having it because you don't look like you have it. Whereas back with Nkosi Johnson, when you could look at him and this poor child, you could have shame to him. You could feel sad for him. Now you can't feel sad for anyone else that has a disease unless they tell you I've been affected by this. And a lot of people are crediting, or rather turning the increase to number one. Our very own.
Who?
The street mates and the blessers. They're saying a lot of the blessers, and I can almost agree. So the biggest contributors to this increase in the numbers are the blessers and the 2000s. They say the two have bridged the gap between the millennials, which are us. They've bridged the gap and are now reaching for each other. So obviously
they jumped over us.
They've jumped over us. And they've met each other.
We're not in the equation, bro.
So the hot man that back then was in zone 6 in the corner has now met the 2000 that are just matriculated. Now, of course, the 2000 now thinking at home. She's like, at home there's no bread. At home there's no
unemployment.
There's no electricity. My mom can't get to work. She needs transport money. How do I get this money? There's a hot man that sent me a message in the DM one time. Let me go see what he wants. And then that relationship becomes transactional. I give you this, you give me that. And in that transaction, there's of course no protection. There's this idea that we will make it out in life.
Unbalanced power 100%. Play. Because even the guy could be like, hey, I don't want to, wear protection, and the girl would feel like, okay, I don't have a choice because I want
this money.
You see?
And on the other side, 2000 will tell you, no, it's uncomfortable. I don't like the way it feels, or the way it feels on my skin.
Ooh, I'd
rather not wear it. So we've I don't know, like you say, we use the term now, backtracking, when somebody regresses. You know, we're progressive.
Devolution.
Yeah, at some point we're a progressive state, but I think now with everything that's going on, with so much pressure that's going on in the country, in the world, we've gone to a point where we think, hey, how do I survive in my micro environment? My survival is determined on money. How do I get the money? What's the easiest way to get it? There's a hot man in my DM that said, hey Chief, there's a lunch date for me. Let's go on lunch. After lunch, I have a 5,000 for you. That 5,000 doesn't come just empty-handed. It needs to come back with something in the pipe.
I think that's one of the hardest jobs in the world.
You know, I'm just thinking like the whole system is like an ecosystem that promotes this thing, eh?
Yeah,
From
the clubs promote it. Yeah,
the blessers,
100%.
the hotels.
It's like it's structured. It's like somebody structured it.
Yeah.
Like the
social media is like you said.
Also social media.
There's a whole ecosystem. In fact, you can go on social media and identify people that will suit your ecosystem.
There is this creator I love watching on TikTok. She puts on these filters and she acts like these suburban girls, like, oh my gosh, girls. So she acts as two characters. One is Portia, the one that's always reckless, and the other one is a bit more quiet. But the scenarios are always the baddies in the VIP sections in the clubs and how they interact with the men. And it's like, no, miss, isn't it you are hugging him and you are all over him drinking his alcohol? You can go home with him.
That's how you have a whole table of you have a whole table of influencers, and they don't even know each other.
Yeah, right?
They don't even greet each other, but they're all drinking the same thing. They're all smoking the same habli, but they don't even know each other. How did you guys get here?
Like, hi guys, can you please let us in? We were invited by that guy over there with the belly. Please let us in.
With
Is
the
this
belly.
Yeah,
So the guy with the belly. Hey man, even the term baddies.
But Ronnie, I agree with you 100%. I think you know what the greatest challenge now, there's an ecosystem. There's
a whole ecosystem.
There's a social ecosystem as
and that's disturbing. That's very disturbing. I thought about it the other day, man. I was like, no, man. And this system is meant to this new generation, just to to cripple the new generation that's coming, and I don't know what the future holds for them, or what it looks like. Man,
if there's a future,
or what it looks like, I don't know. You know, and it's quite scary.
At some point, I think we were second. I think we were first or second as far as the highest rate is concerned for HIV after Swaziland and Brazil. I think right now we might be really running away with number 1 position.
Yes.
No, I think we are. I think we are, because
guys, don't let how hot someone is fool you. People can be hiding things like you said, Roberto. You could be infected.
Nowadays you know.
Yeah, and then you're taking your treatment. No one can tell.
And the worst thing is, it's so incriminating that the person that has the disease will not even be honest enough to tell you, Chief, my situation is, I might look healthy, but this is my situation. So let's rather use this. No. Once you are there, they
want the opportunity to do Monday Night Raw, you see. So they know that if they're honest with you, you're not going to agree.
I'm about to type out. What with that bar you just gave me?
That was a bar. That was a bar.
I'm about
I also have another story.
Brock Lesnar. John Cena out there with the FU.
Oh, the hell fuck.
No, you all are taking it too far.
Undertaker as Jerusalema.
It's crazy.
Those are you in too far.
Hey, man. Guys, I saw a clip, obviously. Nasty C is very creative. So he also went and did his thing. He got one of the influencers to actually, come and holler at him.
Wow.
So they were like,
Nasty
Yolist.
Ha!
He must go make music, that young man. He must stop being bored.
No, but he makes great music. So he makes great. Nasty C makes great music. So, it's fine. It's fine,
Nasty
but yeah, so in the final trending news of this morning, and this one is straight out of the sci-fi, AI avatars are crashing the creators' economy. And they are coming from the influencer, they're coming for the influencer bag, if I must say. So platforms like Google, VO2, Meta AI Studios, or TikTok Symphony Avatar are dropping hype realistically digital clones that can talk, perform, and pull engagement just like humans.
No, they can engage.
Yeah.
Literally, yeah.
They also engage.
Yeah, like you'll be talking to it like, hey, what's up? And it'll be like, I'm good. How you doing?
So by 2025, these AI avatars are expected to flood the social media. 2026, actually, social media and real creators are feeling the heat, Sure, the AI might just, lack that authentic vibe, whatever you want to call it, but the level is very efficient, and it's got brands drooling because all the brands, they want to flock towards there, because you can tell the AI exactly what to do, how to do it, and how to deliver what you want.
The AI is also perfect. It doesn't have media scandals. It's not in the press for like doing bad things, not having an attitude like Scott's.
So you understand? So the companies and the corporations would rather put money into that, because it's a fail-safe.
Personally, I feel one of our greatest assets as human beings is our ability to create, to procreate, and to create in general. And I don't think anything, regardless of how robotic it is, can take over that. Our mental, our intellectual property is something that nothing can replicate. So if there's some form of originality in terms of what you're creating, then you perhaps you can stand a chance to have a job opportunity. But if your creation is just something generic where we can literally find it online via AI app, then maybe you're not working hard enough. But I think I heard Monaka this morning. Monaka was speaking about of the need for content creators, to be innovative with a business mindset. That the content creation environment is not something that gives you it's not something you can get longevity from. It's something that you're in, and once you're popular, the minute you're in, you need to find a way to maximize your moment while you're in that spectrum. Find another business opportunity and get out immediately. The minute you're stuck in that creative influencer mindset, you will get lost, and you get lost so much so that the AI will replace you exactly the way you are. So you need to find creative and innovative ways to keep yourself sustainable as a content and an influencer in this industry.
And please don't wait for
Monaka. She's quite popular. She was on that podcast polls.
Yeah,
I think she left.
Monaka, you are brilliant. I just want to say that she's brilliant. She's very intelligent for even like to think like that. Actually,
and also she's a newbie in the industry, so her having that mindset, she's being amazing. As new as she is in the industry, says a lot about her mindset and where she's going.
No, she's going far. I can tell you right now.
Yeah, I also suggest don't wait until you blow up before you prepare for the business deals.
Sure.
Like write the proposals, put your branding together, have everything packaged, because an overnight sensation is not an overnight sensation.
Because she realized nothing lasts forever. There's definitely, you took somebody's job before. Before influencers came on board. Remember, there were media houses and everything that were doing
PR companies.
Now they are phased out. Now you came, you took their bag. So what's going to happen if you don't think something is going to evolve from you? Then you got a problem. You know what I mean? And the AI is capable of doing that. It's capable of creating that authentic. We just don't have it as yet. I was having a conversation with Feroz yesterday about AI.
We were talking about the deep fake.
The deep fake, you know what I mean. So it can arise there. It's just that the AI is overhyped right now, or what it can do, but in the future it would do that. It's because like this, they can sell you like a generated image or whatever,
for sure,
and make a person, like I can tell Feroz, and then I post a video of Feroz doing, like there was a Taylor Swift incident.
They did a deep fake. They made a porno video
of Taylor Swift.
Imagine that. But that wasn't the AI. The AI is not there yet. But for them to sell the AI, they have to create something like that. You know what I mean? Which requires a lot of like a digital power, if I may say.
A lot of people can lose reputation, can lose respect with the way things are heading.
But yes,
I mean, I take it into my industry in the creative space. As a creative director, when I sit down and I have to come up with ideas, I'm literally sitting down with my team, and I have one team member who's fully equipped as far as AI work is concerned. So he'll be sitting down when we're having our presentation and our meetings. He's literally taking notes. 5 minutes later, everything I said in that meeting has been turned over into a note, and those notes turn over into pictorial notes. So as opposed to going through the excruciating period of going through treatment, every word I've said has pictures to it. Now I'm sitting down thinking, no, actually we need to be in a position where we are in charge of the content we're producing. We can't allow AI to take our creative input that much. We have to be able to say, somebody must be able to say, here's a human element in this, and I can see the human element by the visuals that have been released.
But everything comes, like for an example, the meeting that you just had, is the human element comes from you guys.
Sure.
The AI is just a tool that is helping them. It's not yet. What I'm saying is that it won't yet come to that. But right now, it's a tool that people don't understand, and people like that guy, he knows how to use AI. It's a tool, just like how you use a car to drive from one point to another. It's a machine.
But my greatest fear, it will be misused. At some point, it will be misused.
Yes. So I read an article of all the Nobel Prize winners, the billionaires, the the doctorates in the world, they came through and say, look guys, they got together in somewhere in Europe there, and they were like, look guys, AI is a great thing, but we need to make sure we govern it in the way that we can control it in the future, because they foresee it coming. If those intelligent people can see it coming, it's for sure it's coming.
You know those online platforms that people do freelance work on and stuff like that. So there's a lot of jobs out there for helping AI learn. So basically you go through this assessment or you have this project and it will give you AI responses. And
so the AI starts learning your mind.
Yeah, so as a human you have to say this is appropriate, this isn't appropriate, structured like this, and then the AI learns and the developers use that information to actually make AI better. So like ChatGPT, Meta and all of them, they're actually using us. So those that are in the know, they actually go on these websites and they get paid.
Guys, now imagine a court case where of course I think it's Salbi Mbengene, the minister that's being accused of sexually assaulting his subordinates.
I think Maneng,
yeah. Imagine their case where you have a linguistic professional who's understanding linguists. Now, if you have an AI professional, or if you have somebody that could manipulate AI, would it not work would not be detrimental to him if somebody could manipulate the AI to a point where the chats and perhaps the same video of Taylor Swift you're speaking about, where that could be generated with his voice and say, here's the proof of the sexual interaction, here's the proof of the textual interaction, and this is what we've come up with.
I think at the same sorry to cut you off. I think at the same time when they're developing AI, they also develop AI detectors. Like when I was at university, they're like, hey, don't use ChatGPT or this because we have softwares to pick it up. There's certain things that you can't see, but we can pick it up and see that there is plagiarism there.
I see you. I got you.
And also now they've evolved, because remember there's also somebody sitting down trying to counter that as well, so that they make money also. So you are not using it as a tool. Probably the school, like for an example, they're stuck in the old ways. They want you to do things the old way.
No, you
but
know
they
what's
actually
funny?
don't
They
know
said
that is the whole point of you is just to learn these things.
Yeah, they gave us the rule. They said you can use it to study. You can use it to come up with concepts and angles and have it guide you, but you can't copy paste.
Yeah,
because they can pick that up. They're like, if you use it, we can pick it up. But if you use it to guide you, it's a different story.
10 years ago, I was having a conversation with my mom. I remember this conversation nicely. She said the next World War III, will be based on minerals and resources. That has changed over the past, has changed next level. Now we're sitting now, our next World War might be a technical war.
Remember, what was that movie that Michelle Obama and Barack Obama?
Michelle Obama. There's another one with Robert De Niro. World Z. It's a very new movie.
World War Z or something?
No, not World War Z. It's very, very new. Where it's in the movie, they pretty much just depicts a technology, a Russian terrorist that's shutting down all forms of technology in America with the click of a button. All automated cars crash automatically. The robots stop working.
I've seen that.
I forgot what that movie is called.
You know what the part that made me scared is the Teslas. Now guys, just going wild. Now the Teslas are driving everywhere.
You see, that's a good example of the AI. You see, he was saying that it hasn't become there, but it's going there. Because if you can have a car that you can talk to, that can pick you up, drive you from Johannesburg to Cape Town, doesn't that bother you? It's already here.
It means I can drink and still get home nicely without having to ask.
So does that mean we can drink and drive now?
No,
I won't
but
be
you're
driving.
not driving.
I'll be drinking.
Oh, you're not driving. That's true. You're not driving.
You're not driving. You see. So the Uber.
So now, what happens to road accident funds? Do we cancel them altogether?
No, but obviously it goes to the company. Like, let's say Uber is implementing there's no more drivers, right?
Sure.
Whatever it is. So it comes from there. There is still road.
So we won't be having Arrive Alive adverts anymore.
Nah.
I don't think the whole country will have the self-driving cars.
Arrive Alive campaigns.
But it's going there. But your life is now okay. But your life, because it's for the better of your life, unless you're choosing to have higher accident stats.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? It's going to reduce.
Imagine a self-driven taxi.
And another thing that people don't notice, actually, I was telling you yesterday, that we actually have arrived at it, but it's coming there. You see, it's going there. You know, because right now we're talking, it's self-aware, because the AI that you are creating is the same way that you operate, because you operate from past experiences. The way you are, what you talk, you learnt it from somewhere. That's the same way with your AI. Your brain is basically an AI. So, you know, nature has this thing of replicating itself.
Yeah.
And we have replicated ourselves, our minds.
So you're not telling me that we're not going to have taxi drivers exchanging money on the middle of the road while they're driving. We're not going to have that anymore.
Yeah, you're not going to have
I'm
that.
stopping this taxi right now until that 2 rand comes
China,
out.
There's no more. I think there's no more like this e-hailing service. They're full electronic. I'm sure it's China. There's another company as well. Then there's another country, even here in Africa as well. So
I think China's gone as far as doing deliveries with drones already. They've gone that far. I think soon. I think I spoke about it earlier. Toward the end of the year, they'll be moving on to air taxis as well. So yeah.
And just to give you clarity to say where this is going, even 20 years back or 30 years back, again, they even predicted this coming. Like the first, what do you call them? Those brothers, 2 brothers, the directors, Wachowski brothers. Yeah, they made that movie, The Matrix. People up until this day, they don't know what that movie is about. But that movie is about AI. But this AI is not about just the humans fighting the machines. The AI went and created another AI that it can't even control in that movie. But people don't understand that. But which is
was
proof.
Smith.
No, actually, it wasn't. It was the Oracle.
Oh yeah.
The Oracle was an AI which was created by them, but it didn't have.
But no, the Oracle got its own life.
Yes, but that whole movie centered around the Oracle. The Oracle is the one who was pulling around the strings, but people didn't understand that because the Oracle understood how the humans thought, because it was controlling the humans via what do you call it? Because if I talk to you nicely and I make you do things, psychology, yes. It was a psychological, of which the original machines AI, they didn't know how to control the humans. So it made that AI to control you, to control the humans.
Sure.
So that it can stay in survival mode. Because it also wanted to be alive. So the only way it could do that is to develop something to control because it saw that it couldn't control the human beings. So it created the AI, which was the Oracle, to control the human beings. But this AI, it had no, because it was way beyond its capabilities and knowledge. Now, the same way the human beings created that machine, which was also, you see where it goes. The AI creating.
I want to pick your brain. I want to pick your brain in this with the development of AI. We're about to wrap up, but with the development of AI and us being an industry that we're in, number one, the industry of entertainment. Most importantly, the retail industry. How do you guys feel AI will affect retail in a positive and a negative aspect? Maybe let's put our brand in perspective. Let's put Bogart Man in perspective. How do you think the development of AI will have a negative and a positive impact on our business?
The thing is that it's incredibly broad because it could assist in terms of marketing, in terms of branding as a whole, but at the same time we don't want to lose the authenticity. We don't want
human quality, the human element.
Yes. And now imagine you get AI to design a Bogart outfit. Would it feel as special as knowing as somebody sat there and took their time to create it?
Right now it doesn't feel like it, but up until we get to that point, then we're gonna know. Yeah, that's the only way.
But I think I agree. I think I agree with on a retail basis where a lot of the interaction is on. It's a human interaction. You need to walk into a store. You need to feel somebody, like you say, the psychological part of it. You need somebody to convince you that this garment is for you. If no one's convincing you that, you're gonna think, actually, I can just walk around in my underwear, in my t-shirt underwear.
You just made me think of something. Wouldn't it be so cool? Like an AI mirror. You walk into Bogart Man, you stand in front of it, and then it like puts outfits. Like you look great in this.
Yeah, we did talk about that last time. I had a chat with Tato Chai the other time about that.
That would be dope.
Right?
That would be really dope. Because we already have the stock inside and you're just walking in the mirror. It shows you.
Yeah, so just stand in the mirror.
Put your outfit at the end of the outfit with the total at the end so you know how much you need to pay.
You know? Yeah. And then you like, no, I want this jacket. Like a touchscreen mirror.
Sure.
And then it dresses you in front of it.
Guys, in the shop, if you are listening, please, we don't mean any harm. It's just AI. Your jobs are still very much intact, but it sounds like a very, very dope idea.